and that was a 67-58 victory over UCLA. What are your thoughts on this game, man? I was pretty pumped for the boys here.
The score does not reflect
No, it was a bowl game.
how
BTA.
dominant Tennessee was in this game. Um, I think at one point there towards the end, wasn't it like 62 to like 46 or
I
something
think
like
we got up
that?
to
I mean,
18. I think we got up to an 18-point lead. I mean, it was almost a 20-point lead. Maybe even a
yeah.
20-point
So
lead.
towards the end, I mean, Tennessee did kind of let off the gas some.
Sure.
UCLA also did hit some shots towards the end as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But by that point, it was too little too late. You know, all this was also a game where the referees were horrible, but
Terrible.
kind of like what we were talking about, it was horrible both ways. But what bothered us the most was there was no consistency. It was like the first half was called one way and the second half called completely different.
Yep. I texted you that it seems like in a lot of basketball games, if a half is called super soft in the first half, they come back and like the moment the second half starts, they're calling everything. And then vice versa, right? But in this game in particular, really lost my like absolute desire to even care about the refs when Cade Phillips had a clean block and got called for a foul. And then on
And
the other
Igor,
hand, Igor goes up for a dunk and gets absolutely slashed at the arm. And it's a clean block, and like the announcers are just like, "Oh my god, what a play by Mara!" I mean, it's just like crazy how like ESPN and 7 foot tall basketball players just. I mean, I could get myself in trouble on the podcast, brother. Like it is so. I don't know what their love affair is with 7 foot players, and I don't know. Like the gaslighting on that particular play was wild. I'm surprised they showed the backboard angle like in slow mo before going to commercial because it was like so clear that it was
yeah,
it was a foul. But anyways, backflip spaghetti. I'm sorry, I've been kind of late, but he says UCLA is not like Kentucky. We held a 20-point lead for a minute, so yes, I thought that. But as long as we don't see Bud Adams, we're good. I can't stand the announcers. No, 100%. But no, in this game in particular, man, Chasner didn't really pop off, but he did have a very efficient night.
yes.
Zakai Ziegler adding 15 points. Anytime Zakai Ziegler can do what he does, like I know he says it only has 6 assists, but his shot creation against UCLA was top notch. I think it was one of his best games. Him being able to drive into the paint and just absolutely whip the ball, halfway across the court to an open man. That was probably the best performance I've seen him do. I think there was one in particular where
You're
he
talking about
drove.
the Jordan Gainey one, right?
Yes, he drove right down the middle and just like one arm hunked that thing right over to Jordan Gainey. And Jordan Gainey, not even the most efficient 3-point shooter, but man, like when you're that wide open, like it's almost easy at that point. And I don't know. I was in love with the way Zakai was just like so comfortable getting that ball to whoever he needed to get it to. And the bounce pass too. There was one, he
That
was like
that
underneath.
Okay, that's the one I thought you were talking about. The one where he drove down, the shot clock was winding down. He kind of stopped, but he could see Jordan Gainey the whole time. Did like a wraparound one arm bounce pass across the
Yeah, that's
paint
the second one.
over to the corner where Jordan Gainey is, and he knocks down the three.
No, like that's just my point though. I think both of Jordan Gainey's threes, if he had more than that, I apologize, but like both of them came on those shots. And I don't know. I just thought that was one of his best performances. I know it's only 6 assists, and I know that he's had more than that this year, but his overall control of the ball and getting those shots to his teammates, I just thought it was beautiful. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. And then Chaz Littner in this game, he became Tennessee's all-time single season 3-point leader,
And guess
breaking
who was there to watch it?
Chris Lofton's record.
That's right.
Yeah, Chris Lofton, he's all Vol, man. He's been at the past two games for the Tennessee Vols, and I guarantee he's going to be making a trip to Indianapolis for the Sweet 16 as well. And then, so what about in this game? Jemai Meshack playing the least amount of minutes that he has in quite some time. Got in some foul trouble. Only 19 minutes in this game. But the defensive effort from Tennessee to just absolutely shut down UCLA on offense, even without Jemai Meshack, it was incredible to see. I mean, of course, you still have Zakai Ziegler out there. Jordan Gainey still a fantastic defender. And The thing I like about Chaz Lanier that is different from Dalton Connect is Chaz Lanier he's an absolute dog on defense as well. That was a
Yep.
concern coming in, was can he live up to that defensive mentality that Rick Barnes likes? He absolutely can. He
Yeah.
can go out there and he can shut down somebody as well. Tennessee played fantastic on defense yesterday, even without Jemai Meshack, who, by the way, is one of 2 Tennessee players to get a top 4 finalist for National Defensive Player of the Year.
It's going to be one of them.
Yeah,
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, 2 out of the 4 players for National Defensive Player of the Year are from Tennessee. It's definitely going to be one of the 2.
And I think the where I know this team is growing, there was a play in particular where I think it was Zakai who kind of slapped the ball, or maybe they got the steal, but it ended up being Chaz Lanier that got it running up the floor in transition and goes up strong this time and gets the and one in this game. That was, if you remember that
It was
play.
right before halftime. It
Yes.
was they trapped. It was Gainey, I believe Ziegler both got the guy trapped in the corner. The pass was
Yep.
deflected, and Lanier just jumped the pass, did a little spin move
Did
to
a
get
little
around
spin
the
move.
defender
That's
and
right.
took it down for the and one layup. Yeah,
That
that was the momentum changer in this game that caused Tennessee to kind of extend that lead and just never looked back going into the second half.
that was the momentum changer, but also, I mean, Chaz Lanier is not known for going up strong, to the hoop. I mean, we seen against Vanderbilt that literally cost us a game because he didn't go strong to the rim. So, that it's moments like that that show me, okay, this team is taking a growth. It's not necessarily as much hot or cold as it once was. Tennessee, if they were cold, they're not winning. But in this particular sense, the defensive play has just been so good. And then on top of that, you're getting your 3-point shooter to the rim a little bit more. Man, that's going to wreak havoc on defensive game plans when they're really playing for that pick and roll. But then you got your 3-point shooter also going hard to the paint. That's going to be what takes us possibly to our first Final Four ever. And I'm really excited to see it. UCLA, not a bad ball club. I mean, they really played a good game. I just think in this game in particular, I think our physicality was a little bit too much to handle. I think once we game plan for the 7-footer, I think his last name is Mara, Mara.
Yep.
Once we finally figured out the game plan for him, because he was eating us up, man. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. I mean, he was pretty dominant there for a while, but we game planned around it, pretty much took him out of the second half. But once we got that done, UCLA also, Tennessee caught fire. I mean, 11 of 22 from the 3-point arc and 87% from the free throw line, 14 of 16. That's one of our better games at the free throw line. And I love that 2 of our better games at the free throw line have been within the last 2 weeks. That shows me that we're getting hot at the right time. So 36 to 26 in rebounds, 15 to 10 on assists. I mean, pretty much every stat across the board, Tennessee owns it, and the scoreboard reflects that.